So I'm going to teach you some warframe tricks. Starting with the first one, the codex. So, when you go to your codex, you'll have companions. This will show you all the companions and their weapons. And their stats and everything. Okay. Objects, you go in here and you can... and it will tell you about them in there. In here also, if you scan curias, which are these hidden things that are hidden around the map, which can be found with Auric and I. I'll also leave in the link in the description of this video the entire Curia guide and all the locations for all the curias. You'll get access to these and some very hidden stuff, like a little, not a sigil, but the thing that sits on your arm. It's like a sigil, you know what I mean. Those things. You will also get a glyph and you'll get a decoration. And it'll uncover the story of the Kuva Queens. Okay? Then go in here, you can scan all that. Add all this. There is also the 1,000-year-old fish, which you'll find in Cetus, which I will also leave in the description below. Which, if you scan that, you get a... all that, you get a little glass fish decoration. Which, actually, I'll show you right now. You will get that little decoration right there. That little fish. Now, as for the Curia, you'll get this little thing. As the little Curia decoration I'm talking about. Okay. Next thing in the codex. Relics and arcanes. If you're not sure where to get an arcane, just click on the arcane, it'll tell you. For example, this. Also show you all the relics, and it'll also do that. It'll also tell you if it's in a prime vault or not. So that's good too. You can also hover over relics in here and it'll tell you all the drop locations by doing that. And if it's vaulted or not. Like that. What you can also do while you're in the codex is look at all the frames, including the Archwing and the mech and all that. What you can also do is look at all the weapons. Even if you've not discovered a new weapon, like say D adds a brand new weapon, new update drops, new weapon, you've done the quest, you have everything completed, go in here and you can just look at the new weapon straight off the bat. You're curious about a new prime weapon, you're like, I want to see the new prime weapon stats, but I don't own the weapon. You don't have to link it, you can just go in here and it'll just sit right there. And you can just like click it, like Evo's not a new prime weapon, for example, you can do that. You can also just go in the Warframe wiki and it shows you all that. Also, you can look in your factions here. But the catch being you have to scan them. And once you scan them, they're permanently saved in here and you can just look at them at any time to see what they're weak to. Or resistant to. Or what they drop. And here you can check how many liches you've killed, vanquished, converted, traded, all that. These will give you lore on the game. And you'll hear a little sound. Like a little, like, hinting sound.
I employed a variety.
I mean, if I click on those, it'll start talking. But you have to find the sound. And it will play. Like there.
They called us mercy.
So like if you hover over one of these, you can like play the sound. Like that. You don't even have to click, you just have to slide your mouse across. And then the art gallery shows you a lot of cool like art. Like, if we go to Warframes, you get a lot of concept art. Okay. And then mods. So you don't know where a mod comes from. Like, I don't know where this comes from. Hover over it. Borrow here. Alright, next thing. When you go into your thing here, say you want to pick up weapons, you can hide mastered, like that. You can hide owned, like that. And you can hide weapons without blueprints, like that. Now, like that. Now, the weapons that are without blueprints in the market, if you're like, I don't know how I get this. Bubonico, for example, doesn't have a blueprint in the market. Click on it and then hover over it and it will tell you where to get it. Like right there, it will say Biolab. Go to the Biolab. Warframes. Same thing. Hide own. You can hide own, hide mastered, and you can hide ones without blueprints in the market. So for example, pick like a random one. Like, I'm not so much, like, I'll pick a random one, but you can't, like, get the blueprint from the market. Okay? Noku. It'll tell you right there. That's how you get Noku. Also, even if it's like a frame where you pick up or a weapon where you pick up from the market, say it has extra components, like for example for a frame here, the extra components to pick it up from the market, like the main blueprint, and you're like, where do I get the extra components? It'll tell you when you hover over it right there, like cap and all that. So it's like, go to Kappa Disruption on Sedna, there you go. So if I hover over the miter, for example, like if I hover over, where the fuck is the miter? Miter. There we go. Miter. I'm like, I don't know where to get the miter. There you go. That's how you get the miter. Another thing. Equipment. All these boosters that you can get by making plot by trading. One thing I can tell you, go to your wish list and favorite them. Put them in here. So say you load into a mission, right? And you're like, fuck. I didn't get a booster. I knew that. And I can't remember if it, like, if you have to leave the mission and then re-enter for it to apply, but yeah, that's nice to have there. You can also get more storage component space from this. You can get more mods like these. So these are always here. Say you're like, I really don't want to farm the bounty, but I made 100 plat. There you go. All antivirus mods right there. Or you're like, I don't want to farm the pairs on mods. There you go. It's right there. But I made like 75 plat. There you go. Warframe Nexus adapter right there in the wish list. Forma right there. Forma bundle. Right there. Got genetic codes. Right there. Omniforma. Catalysts. Right there. All that. Ribbon slots. Warframe slots, all that. It's all in your wish list. So if you're in a dojo and you're like, I just made a shit ton of plot. And you're like, I made a shit ton of platinum. But what do I do now? Well, there you go. You can just go into your wish list and pick it up. Also, don't forget you can get ciphers from here. You get the 100 cipher blueprint. Now if I go, which is another thing I forgot to mention, if we go to gear, get the cipher blueprint, codex, energy, the health restored, which are instant by the way, so if you get on low health and you're like, oh shit, just click that and you're instantly to max health. Remote observer if you want some funny cameras. If you want to celebrate something, There's the starburst, all that. It's the other thing I was going to tell you about. They'll come in handy. Brain shit the bed. Brain absolutely shit the bed. Well, come back to me. It'll come back to me. Give it a bit. What's it again? Oh yeah, also, if you don't want to, like, farm call missions for the call air support, which, by the way, in missions where it disables specters, you can use the call air support. And the call will give you, like, a random drone. It can be an Xmas. And you also get a Grineer with a Grappler and all that. It's real nice. Random shield drone and our shit. So if you don't want to do the call missions to farm it, you can just buy it right there. That's another good thing. That's about it I can think of. Oh yeah, you can also get the gene masking kit from in here. You can buy the blueprint from in there. And then the blueprint for this is in the 10 level, like, yeah, stuff like that. And you can also get the power core, like, right there. You can pick it up. Makes your life easier. All that. Next thing I'm going to tell you about. So, like, you know how you have your foundry here, you got your miscellaneous, you got your mining, all that. All these nice things, right? All these nice things. Well, there's also the appearance tab, which also applies to your hoverboard, applies to your drifter. So if you don't want to buy drifter cosmetics, or operator's cosmetics, you can go to vendors and you can just pick up the blueprints for the cosmetics. Some, not all. And then you can just craft them. You can also click the low button down here and it'll show you all the resources you have. And if you hover over it, it'll tell you its location. That too. That's another thing. Hover over resources and it'll tell you where to get it. In your thing. Alright, so when you're in here, you have at the bottom quick select and then you also have filter. Now this is what your filter does. Show all, show maxed, game mode, and polarity. You can go in here, you can socket items when you hit the correct mastering rank. Yeah, there's a mastering lock on it. You can transmute, you can fusion, you can sell, and you can dissolve. If you got a shit ton of mods, like for example this mod, but you don't want, you can just dissolve. Now say I crack this ribbon, right? And I got a ribbon mod that I don't fucking want. And I can't be arsed to try and like convince someone to buy it off me. Here are your options. You can find someone that's like that likes the weapon that you know in like clan or a friend or something. Be like, here you go, take it. Or you can stock up on those and then you can just transmute them with a Riven Cipher, not Riven Cipher, Riven Transmuter, which you get from the Dante mission or capturing Islands, and then transmute it into a brand new Veiled Ribbon. Or you can just endo it. That way you're not wasting ribbon capacity.
Now to test it in the field. Onward!
It's another thing I can tell you about. that's another thing. Oh yeah. Another thing, when it comes to Kubros, if Trinity Prime comes back, crack her relics, you'll get the Prime Kubro collar, which you can see on him right there here if I go and equip Necros quickly. And this actually gives your dog stats. Don't believe me? I'll show you. So there's that, there's that. There's that, and then there's that. Yeah, the Prime collar actually gives your Kubro stats. So, get the Prime collar from Trinity. Just relics and that. Next thing. If you don't know how to get a song from here, not only is there a bunch of guys on YouTube, but it'll also tell you here, it'll be like, here, this is sacrifice tones. And there's also the tips and tricks section in the corner. This is helpful. In every single menu in the game, including your arsenal, you will see this little symbol right at the bottom here. Little like circle with an eye on it. Click that and you'll get a shit ton of info for things. Okay? Next thing in your operator area here. When you're maxed out your operator focus school, you can click represent at the bottom with the little button there. Opens this, which gives you the option to change your operator skin color. You get the poster, you get these. Yeah, you get the little emblems. You get the Sandali, which is just a ship decoration, goes over the front of your ship. You get the visage paint, and then you get the void gel stuff, and you get an Onria and all that. Also, maxing out your operator unlocks your waybounds, which are passives that apply regardless of focus school. Also, you can run 2 separate amps. One for your operator, and one for your drifter. So say your operator, say you want an operator specifically for a purpose, like you're like, I want an operator that's specifically for Cascade runs. Or I want an operator specifically for Eidolons or Void Angels. What you can do is you can equip one of them with a hyper-specific amp and then equip the other one with a different amp. And then when you just switch Drifter and Operator, you have the amp swapped and you don't have to like worry about swapping. Though, since Operator and Drifter both show up in quests, it's best to both equip them with the same amp. But when you're not doing a quest, you have a lot of time to use the feature where you can run 2 different amps at the same time, because of your Operator and your Drifter being 2 separate characters. Next thing. You can turn in sentient cores and sentient stuff when you level up your helmet enough to then reduce the cost of items. Next thing I can tell you, if you remove and reapply ability, like a cheap one like Empower or something, you will level up your helmet very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Alrighty, next thing. If you don't want to go to navigation and activate your railjack, here you go. You're at your railjack.
Fishing tanks scrubbed, grounded, and flushed.
And there you go.
Ready for service.
Ready?
You can also hit your gear wheel and then give access to this, which is your fast travel thing. So like if I want to go to friends, there you go. I want to go to market, there you go. Alright, next thing. This is more niche, but you can change the background sound of your computer for loading the 9 to 9 missions and checking your calendar and all that. So, say you're like, I don't like the original song. There you go. So now every time you go in here, you'll hear this song. Or if you're like, I don't like this song, you just run the original. Another thing. If you screw up, you can reset them. So like, you can reset your memories and all that. Another thing. You can customize the look of your background in here. And also you have access to this right here. Next thing. Without even going to your navigation, you can fast travel to a syndicate. So like, say you're like, you know what? I want to go to Red Vale, but I don't want to go into a relay and walk all the way over to Red Vale. What you can do is you can click Red Vale, and you can click the button in the bottom there. If you're on console, it's square, but if you're not on console, it'll be a different button. And then you can just fast travel there, and it will teleport you instantly into, well, case in point, it will teleport instantly into the room with them. You do not need to just load into a relay and slowly walk your way over them. So, for example, say you're like, I wonder what Ergo Glass has this week. I wonder what tenant weapons he has. I'm curious. Well,
The probability of us
you can
working
just fast
together
travel
has
straight to Ergo
converged
Glass.
on never.
So you're like, I want to go do the Simulacrum. What you do is you can just go do the Cephalon Samaris one. Fast travel immediately to Cephalon Samaris, and then just turn, and there you go, you're at the Simulacrum. So, I get to Sim so quickly. So yeah, so like, I'm just right here.
Good fortune,
There you go.
Tenno.
If you're curious what he has this week, here you go. 60% Tank Gregory, 44.8% Ferox, 55% Livia, 40.6% Tenet, 27.6 Gandus, all that. Naruto. There's a really good channel that's really good for weekly reset. He does a weekly reset video every single week. Gaz does one. He's really good for that. He's good for Warframe news. If you want Warframe news, he's your guy. He is your guy if you want Warframe news or weekly reset stuff. I also have a document server. I'll leave the link in the below, but it also notifies you about weekly reset stuff, including the calendar. I'll show you the calendars, missions, rewards, all that shit. I'll leave that in the description below too. Document server also has a shit ton of other things because it's supposed to be a Warframe library, so it has like guides on frames, resource map locations, all that. How long is this video? Holy fuck. 23. Okay, we're almost there. Next thing, you can come over here and you can turn in all your ducats. You probably already know this if you're an older player. Yada yada.
Hello.
But say you're a new Tenno, right? And you're like, I don't know what this does. Well, there's a button at the bottom that says tutorial. Activate it.
Hello, Tenno. My name is Barrow Keetir, the Void Trader. Welcome to my ducat kiosk. Allow me to explain. Perhaps, like me, you enjoy the thrill of the void. And perhaps you've also collected more treasure than you can use. Or not exactly what you desire? This is where I come in. Bring your unused prime blueprints and parts to this kiosk and exchange them for the only currency that I accept. Oricon ducats. Then, during one of my regular relay visits, you may trade your ducats for something rare and extraordinary. Something only I can provide.
There we go. Okay. Next thing. Every 8 weeks, Teshin has an Umbra form. So if you're a Steel Path player, visit Teshin every 8 weeks. He also gives you ribbons and all that. Also, every weekly reset, check out Dewberry Lady in your Dormazome, also known as a Crayfish. She has a chance to have ribbons, including companion ribbons.
We suffer, but all will be forgotten in the coming prosperity.
Also, another tip is MR. If you have a legend rank or a MR30 in a relay, what you can do is you can come up to this, and they can give you an affinity blessing, a credit blessing, a resource blessing, a health blessing, a shield blessing, or a 25% roar. That's what the damage blessing is. It's quite literally roar. But unlike roar, it also applies to your amps. Kind of like Jade's Deathbringer. Jade's Deathbringer effect. It technically gives you a amp buff too. Okay, next thing. You can come in here and you can practice your mastering tests. If you are doing the mastering tests where you have to sneak past the enemies stealthily, here's a tip for that. Okay? Like, if you have to kill the enemies without them detecting you, you can snipe them all from the starting platform with the regular Redeemer and Banshee. You can also just complete the sacrifice quest, get the Skajati, and if you stealth stab them in the back, you go invisible. There you go. One of them has platforms. You can either use Titania or something else. One of them has you, like, pick up these orbs and then carry them over and turn them in. You can use Wukong or anything that can fly to make that one easier. As for, and then when you hit Legend rank, and you have the ones where it's like, oh, use your primer, use your secondary, use your, all that. Use one with unlimited ammo. Just to make it easier. Alright, also there's unique simulacrums that you can get, which give you enemy levels 25% higher than the standard maximum, which increasing your MR not only increases your standing cap, not only increases your traces cap, but it also increases the enemy level you can spawn in the simulacrum. It also gives you loadout slots, like these. So say you're like, you know what, I want to hunt an Eidolon, but I really don't want to switch my focus school, switch my frame, yada yada. No problem, just have a preset loadout slot, done. Yes, it even carries over to Parazon too. So like if I go to Doomslayer, Bastos Synergy, Blood for ammo, yada yada, out of sight, energy, all that. Okay? And you can have a shit ton of loadouts. Every single time DE releases a brand new frame, not a prime frame, a new frame, a new loadout is added, and there's a new loadout cap. So you'll get a new loadout, and then if you want, you can buy to the cap. It's 20 pot per. So, that's that. Alright. Next thing. When you're trying to unlock Steel Path, talk to Teshin. He will tell you what you're missing. So, if you don't know what you're missing, talk to Teshin. He will tell you. Okay? You shouldn't have to go do anything that's post New War anymore for Steel Path, but there is a few exceptions that I've been seeing, like the Noko bounty being an issue, and Sanctum Atomica, which is just whispers in a wall. The next thing. You no longer need 100% your chart to unlock Arbitration. You unlock Arbitration by going to the Eris Junction. Yeah, see Arbitration right there. Which is another thing. 100% complete your chart and do your junctions and all that. It's a huge boost. Huge boost. Not only does this help you for reg missions, but it's best to 100% your SP chart, because then you can contribute an event. Say an event has like lands on a node, but you don't have that node unlocked. Well, you don't have to unlock that node. Whereas if you 100% your chart, if a event lands on a node, you can just run the node. Other thing, farm the hell out of these. These are where you get your Wraith, Sheep, rare things like that. You can also just get the whole Sheep set from Daughter and Deimos during the Navros event. So if you really don't want to farm Sheep from here, you can get it from there. Another thing, if it shows up with the infested boss, Aeroid, replay this 3 times to get the roar, but replay it multiple times to get your next parts. Sanctuary Onslaught. It's best to passively farm Korra. It's not suggested to target farm Korra. The only time I'd suggest target farming Korra is if she shows up in Circuit. If she shows up in Circuit, pick her, because you'll get her whole set with less effort. But if you can't do that, run Onslaught. Onslaught is a huge boost. You can speed level your gear, especially if there's a Mirage in the squad nuking, and you'll passively farm her. If you want to level weapons, do Elite Onslaught. You'll get Vandal parts for Bratton and Lotto, which sell for a shit ton of platinum, and you get Radiant relics, which are max rank relics, without even having to waste void traces, which is nice. You can also run these missions for bonus standing, and also pick up the little medallions around the map with standing. If you have the Orc and Eye ship, which is the Parallax, which you get from getting the parts for it from doing Zariman, bringing crates and all that, it's also tradable. You can then activate that and it'll like mark the medallions and all that. Alright, next thing, always check both reg chart and SP. They'll have different missions available for relics. And there you go. That's something else I can do. Oh yeah, and also don't forget you have resource drones to deploy extractor. You can also click square, for me, since I'm on console, or not. If you click the little arsenal symbol here, it allows you to change your whole loadout. Whereas if you click the frame, you can just swap the frame or swap the weapon or whatever. You can't, unfortunately, swap your focus school here, unfortunately. Which is very unfortunate. You can't swap your focus school here. What's another thing I can tell you about? Credit to a friend of mine, Dragon. If you want a really good credit farm, and also really good endo farm, just Railjack, XP, and all that good stuff for Railjack, right here. I'll leave his channel in the description below, okay? Next thing. Dewberry. Always rank up your Dewberry enough that you can like always hover over here and check what you got. My bad, my headset died mid-recording. Alrighty, run Isles Weaver instead of Dewberry Experience or Lone Story for your Paphos clamps. Reason why? You get so many more rewards than just running Lone Story. You get the Owl resource. You get a shit ton of plants. You get to farm Kuva by turning in your Sculler husks. You get a decent amount of Steel Essence. You get Stella and so many more. There's no point to do Lone Story. Just run this if you're gonna path Oakland Farm. It's just better. Alright, so for the circuit, if you're on Steel Path and you own everything, you can then like equip 2 Rivens or Kuva, and then you can just rerun it and get all that shit, which is nice. And then for regular circuit, you can pick a frame. I picked Hildren Evo. I already own her, and I already own her subsume and everything, just in case like someone's like, hey, can you help me with Reg Circuit? I can just like load into Reg Circuit, because unless you pick something, it won't let you load into Reg Circuit. So even if you've done Circuit and you got everything from Circuit, you don't care about Circuit anymore, still just like preset it up, so that way if you go to help someone, you don't hit into the roadblock where you can't run Circuit because you didn't pick something. Please. Another tip, if you're helping a new Tenno, right, and they don't have enough credits to run the index, but you want to tax in the index, run Silver Straight like I mentioned, or you can take them to Eris and then just run a CAD. This will give you a shit ton of credits. That's the next thing I can tell you. Think about it. Oh yeah, every weekly reset, go to Iron Wake, okay? You'll get your Kuva, you'll get a shit ton of credits, and you'll also get some room mods. And those credits can be helpful because when Borrow arrives, you can buy a loot box, and the loot box will give you a random reward, like Catalyst, some ribbons, ducats, even a Legendary Core or his Signa. Okay. Next. The next tip I will give you is... what was I gonna say? If you look at someone's build and you're like, why are they running Archon Stretch? The frame doesn't do electric. Arc Coil triggers electric. So they're probably running Doriga. Or they're running Shocking Claws on their companion. Or they're running the Hound because of Synergized presets. They're running this. So if you ever wonder why is someone running Archon Stretch on a frame but doesn't do Archon Stretch, that is why. Also, Vicious Bond will make it so any companion, any ability in the game can armor strip. So if you have a companion with Vicious Bond, which is a melee mod for your companions, that mod allows you to make any ability armor strip. So does Kogoron. After you activate Kogoron, it makes any ability armor strip, which is nice. Next thing I can tell you, Amisha is really good for Arcwing and Open World. The 1 is basically Mesmer Skin. The freeze slows enemies and grants your team status immunity. The 4 gray bars you and converts all damage you take into energy if the 1 is not active. The 4 also boosts duration, range, and strength for all your other abilities. And then the 2 creates giant mag bubbles that convert projectile attacks and also any attack into healing pulses. So if you're doing Firmia fractures, fly straight into the fracture, spam your 2, and then just fly straight up and then just sit immortal with the 1, 2, and 3. Because what the 2 does is it will heal the fracture, and then the rest of Misha's kit will prevent you from getting knocked out of the air, especially the 1. The 1 prevents you from getting knocked out of the air, and the other attacks will protect you from the nullification attacks, which means you can quite literally just AFK. Okay, on to the Hunhulas from Old Pieces mission. Okay? Use cold and radiation. Use a Velocitus with a charge shot build like this. Or use the Emperor Vandal. Like that. Oh, fuck. Move too quickly. There you go. Alright. I'm trying to, like, squeeze as much into one video because, console can only record 60 minutes. So I'm trying to, like, cover as much as I can in this one video. I might as well just do a sequel anyway. If you want a good weapon for Prof Taker, here you go. or you can use the Corvus, because when DE buffed arc guns, they made it so prop takers a little bit more resistant to arc guns, but they didn't do this to Corvus. So Corvus doesn't have the get affected by PT's arc gun resistance. Not like it matters anyway, because Corvus and Velocus can one-shot prop taker anyway. And we're so power crept that it doesn't really matter anyway, because we will still kill a prop taker very quickly even with that. Alright, on to the next tip. For your Necromech, I would suggest running Kuvayanga. Not only does it speed level the mech, but it's really good for clearing hordes around you with the mech. Okay? So, keep Kuvayanga handy. Next thing. Have multiple builds for your Arcabex. Have a regular use, have an Orphix one. So when you get into an Orphix mission, you can do that. Have a Prof Taker one, so you have a bonus element when you're doing Prof Taker. Have a one for the tank. And also, when you're doing ETA, if you get Legacy Harvest and you have Vintage Tech, you can use your Necromech to kill the Legacite, so have like a gas and magnetic one, so you do more damage to the Legacite, and then have a corrosive one for like the tank. Say you want it, you have shit weapons and you need one for the tank, but there is no Legacite. Say there's no Legacy Harvest, but you have shit weapons and you have to fight the tank at the end of your ETA. Use Vintage Tech. There you go. You now have a good weapon to kill the tank, and also since it's Void Rig, if it's Toxic Tank, it doesn't matter, because you're Greybar. Because the 2 is quite literally Iron Skin. Old Iron Skin. New Iron Skin's Overguard. So it's old Iron Skin, but it also does an electricity field to anything that's dumb enough to get close. Here's my Necromech build. Now, say you're not a Necromech Void Rig person. No problem. Here you go. Here's my Bone Widow. And then you can just do to copy the same build over to her right here. But I don't really use Bone Widow. I'm a Void Rig person, so there's that. K-Drive tips. So, Orbalis. Okay? Orbalis, when you go to Orbalis, at Temple of Prophet, there will be a race there. Take your K-Drive Bear and equip Wukong. Why Wukong? So you can ragdoll cancel. Run an Affinity Booster and spam the shit out of that mission. That mission will not only level the fuck out of your K-Drive, but it will also level up your standing. And Wukong's Cloud ragdoll cancels. So if you screw up a jump, not only can you cancel the ragdoll effect so you can get on the board faster, but you can fly all the way back up to where you were and then replace your board, so that way you don't fail the race. Here's the build I use for K-Drives. Oh yeah, also, you can have an arc gun as a utility slot. So what I do is I have a dexterity arcane here. But if you want a double utility, you can run like dexterity and like double dexterity. Or you can run one like dexterity and then multi-shot and reload speed if you're using a frame with electricity. Or what I run is dexterity and Cascadia Flare. And then I pre-charge this, so like if an acolyte shows up and I'm playing a frame but doesn't like a certain acolyte, let's say I'm fighting violence or I'm fighting misery and he does all his shadows, I can just pull up my arc gun and then just alt fire and just one-shot them. Which is nice. Which brings me to my next tip. If you own the Nightwave air support, Nightwave ship, its air support, checking the time on the video, okay. Its air support can put enemies to sleep. Turn the volume down a bit. Its air support can put enemies to sleep, which how you do that, go to your equipment, go to orbiter, landing craft, and then you go here and you can switch it around. So the Dreamers one is the one that puts them to sleep. Security Override will auto hack all security, and also if alarms are going off, like you're doing an Archon hunt or something, or a sortie or something, you're doing like a spy, and you don't want to fail the mission, place on Security Override. It will halt the time. Orcan Eye marks rare things. Med Tower heals you. Carpet bombs. Then the last one is like it gives you a turret. And then Call just gives you Call, which bypasses missions where it's like, no Spectres. Yeah, this means even in Descendia you can use him. Oh yeah, you can also look your Spectres loadout for here. And you can do, like, go to your arsenal from that menu. You can also fast forward your foundry. Reason why I have Garuda Spectre. Garuda makes any attack in the game do guaranteed slash, even Saren Spores. Why do I have Citrine? Well, Citrine has this nice thing where she gives you her DR ability and defense objectives, and gives you her heal, and gives you her 1, and gives you her 4. Why Dante? Well, he gives you Overguard, and if you're doing ETA, or EDA, and you have the Immortal Dewberry Life Leech guys, his Overguard blocks their attack. Another tip about ETA and EDA. If you get the no abilities until 50 kills, spawn in Spectres. Spectres will reduce these kills down so you can start using your abilities again. Really helpful. Yeah, 100 Cypher, Blueprint, 100, all that other bullshit. Lock pins. Shit, I need to talk about lock pins. Okay, so I have a couple more minutes in the video before it stops the recording. Okay. But first we'll talk about these. So red and blue Cetus player. Some abilities scale off infinity radius. The wiki will tell you which ones scale off infinity radius, but in some mods will. Like Revenant's Mesmer Skin Augment, for example. So if you run a red and blue Cetus player, and then you cast Revenant's Mesmer Skin Augment, you'll apply it from farther away. Okay, lock pins. Here, for example, we'll go to a place where lock pins are very, very important. We'll go to Orbalis. I'm trying to squeeze as many tips and tricks in this one video, and then what I'm probably gonna do is do a sequel video, because there is a lot of things I want to, like, cover for people. I might have to do a redone video where I move slower because I'm probably moving way too fast. My bad. If my brain is like rushing through like a fucking psycho. But yeah, so Spaceport gives you Vega, Torrents, Vert Orb, you can mark it. Exploiter Orb comes over here. That's another thing. You don't need to be rank 5 in Fortuna to do Exploiter. You don't need the bounty. You can go straight to the cave if you have Firmia and start it from there. Other thing about Exploiter is when it runs to the outside part, you can take all the canisters from the inside part outside. So pre-place bonus canisters at the door to take outside to the outside part to speed overheat her. Solitoroids, all that. And you can like zoom in on the map and you'll be like, oh, so Solitoroid over there. But yeah, use lock pins to like mark stuff like that, so when people open their map, they can look like this or they can look like that. When I'm doing open world, I have my map like this, but when I'm doing like regular missions, here I'll show you, because another thing I need to mention is like a regular mission anyway is a tip and trick, so works in my favor. Works in my favor. So, we'll just do the Jackal. You'll see I open my complete map. I don't run the mini map because then I have a much bigger vision. Also, reason why we're doing the Jackal for this, when you do Nightwave and it gets the challenge where it's like kill an enemy with a mercy finisher, right?
In an attempt to exert
This
power
fucker
and
counts.
authority, the Corpus have continued to refine their most lethal security proxy. The
He
Jackal.
counts.
Determine its
So,
location
do
aboard
that.
this vessel.
Oh, and also if you want a Stalker to mark you, what I would do is run Neptune, because each individual separate Hyena pack is coded as a separate boss, increasing the odds for
The
Stalker
Warframe
to
has at its
DM you.
disposal a special blade. A parasite.
and I mark you for death.
As lethal to technology as it is to flesh.
So if you hit him in the weak point there, yeah, you can just pairs on him and it'll count. If you want to make it easier for your newbie friends, take Ibarra in here. You can place a tripwire up here, and then he can't get you or your teammates. Okay? Alrighty. What's another one I can give you? Another one. Go to your dry dock and melt down your endo and melt down your railjack parts for endo. You can get a shit ton of endo from melting down your railjack parts, which you probably mentioned because of the silver stripe from earlier, but yeah. Next tip would be... what would it be? Oh yeah, always start index from the dojo. You'll get the outside map if you do that. Always start from the... I'll leave in the description below some more tips and tricks from Kengineer, so there's that, which I probably mentioned. I don't remember. What else is there? Oh yeah, in the pursuit mission, use either the Grattler or the Morga. It will make your life easier. So much easier.
Ordis has been counting stars, operator.
Next thing, you can come in here and you can get like mods and helmets and all that for free, and I-10 extract. In here. Orc and Catalyst potatoes, they come from here, they come from alerts, they come from Acrifis, and they also come from Nightwave, and they also come from your Descendia. What's the other thing? Oh yeah. If you're an older player in Warframe, like a vet, and you have the quills maxed out, you can turn in arcanes at the quills to Ven Vosper. I would suggest Arcane Null from him. He has a amp arcane called Arcane Null, different version than the one you equip on your Warframe. It can give you a lot, and it scales with your MR. Next thing is bird free always has a shard. So what you want to do is you want to at least have 30,000 standing before weekly reset. Next thing, do your calendar before you do your ETA. The buffs from the calendar apply to your elite temporal Archimedia. So do your elite temporal Archimedia after you do your calendar. Okay?
I know what it must have cost you to bring me these. Maybe I wait upon your pleasure.
Alright, what's the next thing I can tell you about? Oh yeah. If you go to here, every daily reset, you can come to her and go to browse wares and you can pick these up. And sometimes there's Mafrica in here. And if you want another arcane farm, this is a really good one. You can spam the Rebellion and you'll get a shit ton of arcanes. You'll also get resources to buy a shit ton of arcanes from her, which then contribute to Phosphor. Or you can run the treasure room, which right now is on floor 20. And you can turn in the Mafrica in here to buy arcanes, like I'm gonna do right now. So there's that too. And then you can, if you buy this, you get a shit ton of cosmetics in one. Like over 20 cosmetics in one if you do all the challenges.
For the glory of...
That reminds me of the other stuff. The evolving armor and the void things, which I will show you. Okay. If I go to here, and then I go to these, emblem. These little void emblems, you can get multiple of them. And if you buy the sentient armor, evolving armor, and the sentient and evolving signed on, you can get multiple cosmetics from just completing their challenges. Next thing, you no longer need to do necromech bounties. Well, kill necromechs in order to
Welcome to
get
our haven.
your thing. You no longer need to kill necromechs to get your fucking necromech parts.
Greetings.
You can just
I
buy
am
them all in here.
prepared to assist you.
So if RNG's screwing you over, you can buy the entire necromech
Forgive me, I
barrel,
always
stock, and
wanted to say
receiver
that.
from here. And you can buy the blueprints, and you can do the same for... Yeah, so you can buy the parts from here. And then you can buy the blueprints for the parts. I was wrong. You can't actually get the actual necromech parts from here. But you can buy the parts for the weapons in here.
Perhaps another time. Be pragmatic. How is my counterpart? If you could.
Also, if you click on the wall, when you max out the necromech guy, if you click on the wall here, you will get a shit ton of lore. Okay. So there's that too. Also, every single vendor that has a gem vendor has relic packs. So if DE confirms a new prime, max out your standing in open worlds of gem vendors, so that way when a new prime comes out, what you can do is you can go and buy a shit ton of relic packs from your regular syndicates, relic packs from the open worlds, and relic packs from Teshin with Steel Essence. Another thing is, if you want a really good thing to do, you can do this. Open a dead DM and then just type /help and it will give you every single chat command. All the chat commands. Another thing. Probably not going to be able to do it in time, but we can try.
Ready to kick.
I will link a config. So I linked a config, right? We'll go latch run. Because I can see the clock above me. There you go. The clock on this video. So what you can do is, say you're rolling a Riven, you're like, I don't sure know if this will be good for my weapon build or not. What you can do is, while you're in the Riven section, you can click on the config and you can look at your own build. And then you can look at it and see what you're missing from your build that the Riven would give you. Alrighty, next thing, if I can tell you, is parkour velocity shards. Use them. They are super fucking helpful. You can complete a spy mission in 3 minutes or less even without a... You can complete a spy even without using a stealth in 3 minutes or less with parkour velocity. I mean, I do it all the time with Ivara, like... You don't need Wukong at all for spy. And then you run the auto hack subsume. Another tip. While I'm here. We'll go to Lua Spy, which Lua Spy is all the way at the one right here. Okay, so use this MOA to auto hack Kuva and Lua Spy security for the wall. And then put on your stealth frame, your spy frame, master summons. Look through the wall, cast master summons, and teleport the MOA through the wall, and it will auto hack the panel for you. Okay? So you don't even have to enter the fucking vault. It will hack it for you. It will do it for you. Another thing, There's the Warframe app, and there's also a website called Warframe Hub, which gives you all the timers of what the hell's going on, from relics to arbitration to even your navigation time.